Listeners, I'm a comedian. A lot of my friends are comedians. One of my very good friends, Nick Sperdute, and I, we're something of the old school vagabonders when it comes to comedy. We do a lot of road work. We know each other from our improv team. I do a lot of stand-up. Sometimes we combine forces for improv. And most recently, we went to the Planet Vulcan. We were there last week because we were doing some warm-up acts for Vulcans Got Talent, and we had a mixed time. Did you enjoy yourself, Nick?
Beautiful planet.
Yeah.
Beautiful planet. Could not have loved it more. I'll tell you what, welcoming, I think, is a word I would use. I would say that I felt at home most of the time. Genuinely just sort of, it was one of those things, when you feel like you're putting on a new coat that is a culture.
Which you could never do on Vulcan because it's so friggin' hot. You could never put on a coat. You know how hot it was? I don't know either because they refused to tell me in Fahrenheit. I would be like, how hot is it here? And they'd be like, oh, it's 72 degrees Celsius. And I'm like, that sounds very hot. Is that very hot? And they're like, well, I suppose for a human. And I'm like, you friggin' know I'm a human. Why are you giving me a hard time about this? I'm not evolutionarily designed for your place. And you're so smug. I didn't like it at all. I thought they were all really smug and I did not find them welcoming. And it was hot constantly.
I'm just going to say I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it, and I said, hey, just so you know, Heaton, because I know how you get when you're humid, you hate it. I know that about you very well. I've seen you in many states. One of them is the humid Heaton state, and it's very agitated. And I told you right away, I said, this is going to be upsetting for you. Yeah. You're not going to like the heat. And you go, no, I'll wear cowboy boots anyway. And you did. And what happened?
I did.
What happened?
I was really hot. You wore sandals, and you were far more comfortable than I was. I'll give you that. Yeah, I wore the cowboy boots because I kind of thought it would, would be kind of like a flare where it's like, they're like, oh, look, he's wearing human shoes. And it got some comments, but... it wasn't that humid. I'll give them that. Vulcan's not very humid. It is a dry heat, but I would estimate that it's at a good 130 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about where I would put it. So, you're not sweating as much, but I kept passing out from dehydration. Two or three times. And I will say, to the credit of the Vulcans, whenever I did pass out, they were very agile and very quick to try and get me into a hospital and give me some kind of hypo spray to revive my electrolyte levels. So that was good, but it was I can't understate how hot it was, and I didn't connect with anybody there. Like, you hit it off with that Solak guy, but whenever I tried to talk to him, all he wanted to talk to me about was math. He would, what kind of math do you like? And I'd be like, I don't really like math. And then he would just stare at me, and it was like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say, Vulcan?
Yeah, well, Solak and Spirik and the whole family, I thought that they were really interested in how we do math as opposed to how they do math, because it is slightly different. But I just felt like maybe you weren't quite embracing it. I don't want to be rude about it, but it just felt like you weren't quite. Should I putting on a coat? Did I talk about the coat analogy? Did I already use that? Feels like you weren't quite putting on the coat that was the culture, but I think I already said that. So.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that. And I guess the whole Vulcan traditions of quantum addition was interesting. But I don't know. Also,
you should have said that then. You never mentioned that it was interesting then. They would have loved that.
Yeah.
All you kept talking about was well, yeah, but I know about
Gilbert and Sullivan. I try to get them to get into Gilbert and Sullivan. They don't care about Gilbert and Sullivan. They don't care about it at all. There is Vulcan comedy. I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't do a lot for me. Okay.
So, now, come on.
Well, okay. Now this is. I will acknowledge this is a cultural difference. Okay, this is not a. I'm not saying Vulcan humor is better or worse than human humor, but it is different. So, human humor comes up pretty much out of vaudeville. And you and I trained over at UCB, so we've got some improv training. Vulcans don't have improv. That is not a thing they do. They do spontaneous math. But that's not funny. I think it's a whole different thing. And the jokes, the joke that killed with the Vulcans, because we went to Vulcans Got Talent, and Spelek, who got second place that night, he's going on to the next round, and I wish him well. Spelek's huge joke, I'm going to do as best I can. His huge joke was, have you observed that we illogically refer to that which we drive on as a parkway and that which we park on as a driveway. And then it was just dead.
That brings me right back there.
You were the only guy who laughed.
By the way.
None of the other people laughed. Like, what are the Vulcans in the back shouted out? That is indeed inconsistent. And I was like, this is supposed to be funny? I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of those things. It's a play on one of our old style jokes, and I just really thought how, like, well structured it was. You know, I felt like not a lot of times do you hear jokes with grammar that particular. You know, I think that's something we're missing here.
You know what? I will say it was a well structured joke. It was a tight joke. He used an economy of words. I'll give him that. I don't know. It weirded me out. Like when I'm doing stand up, for example, I'm used to like getting laughter as the way of determining if I'm resonating with the audience or not. And like Vulcans, I think their version of laughing is cocking their right eyebrow. Did you pick up on that? Because they did not laugh during our set.
Yeah. No, but I got a lot of eyebrow cocks.
That's I guess
me personally.
I guess you did well. When
I came out and said something, I noticed. But you know what? I think this all comes down. I think you were really upset. You got nerve pinched. It was hilarious. The crowd loved it. I think you were really upset that you got nerve pinched, and then after you didn't know what happened. And I think that's still kind of bothering you.
Have you ever been nerve pinched? It's like a Vulcan's tasering you through your shoulder, and like, I don't even understand how it works.
I thought it was just.
Like okay, here's what I don't get.
It's something,
and I'm not contesting this. Like, I have been dropped like a sack of potatoes by an 82-year-old Vulcan grandmother, and like it totally happened. I don't understand why we can't replicate that, because like you later on you tried to do it, which thank you by the way in the hotel room. You just snuck up on me and went nerve pinch and tried to get me, and it was kind of like a crappy shoulder massage. It didn't do anything, and like also why were you trying to nerve pinch me? Were you just excited or what?
Honestly, I've been trying all week on just on my wife and just random people that I've seen. I've been trying to do the little nerve.
Have you made any progress?
It's just nothing. No, it's just it may be finger dexterity. Mm-hmm. I think that might be one of my issues.
I can see that.
It's just something about
how
your shoulder has to be when you do it.
Maybe because the Vulcans have like, I'm not going to say they're telepathic, but they definitely have some kind of like, they can mind meld and stuff. They've got some kind of neurological abilities that we don't have. Maybe you have to have like, maybe it's like a little like a little dose of mind meld with a lot of pain, and that turns into the nerve pinch. I don't know. That I did enjoy. For that reason, I did involve their lucha libre. I thought that was cool. Vulcan lucha libre is actually pretty cool to watch. The costumes are magnificent. Yeah. They're not. They don't shit talk as well as human lucha libre people. I find our lucha libre much better at the shit talk. But they'd come in and go, I am Paldor and I will nerve pinch this gentleman, and then the other guy would go, nay, I am Hirkor and I will nerve pinch that gentleman, and it was kind of like, if you can imagine British lobsters trying to pinch each other, just kind of like angling back and forth until one of them finally did it, and then I tried to bet money on it. Apparently that was illegal, and I think that's why I got nerve pinched. I really should have. You asked me to research in advance if there was anything that I was going to do that might be illegal, and I went, nah, probably not, because I'm not. I'm careful about that kind of thing, and no, it turns out you can't do that. Also, cockfighting, that's illegal on Vulcan. They don't allow that anymore.
And I told you shouldn't have brought that with you. But also, I think I told you right away, as soon as you were starting to bet, I said, no, Heaton, that's illegal. You should have looked this up. We went through the whole thing. And then I saw her coming out of the right corner of my eye. I'll be honest, that little lady. And she just got you before anything could be anything. And I was, well, needless to say, I was surprised and...
Yeah, it was. Wait, can I back up? Because I brought the chickens and for the cockfighting, and like they're fine. By the way, anybody worried about Terrence and Ancy? They're fine. And
no, because they didn't let you fight.
Anyway, the chickens are fine, and I got them onto the shuttle because I said they were therapy animals, and so they were fine with that. I didn't have to provide documentation or whatever. But the thing that I wanted to bring up is there is no good barbecue anywhere on Vulcan. Or Mexican food. I spent
vegetarians.
An hour.
I told you this.
Yeah, but like, okay. Then why isn't there Mexican food? You can get vegetarian Mexican food. We didn't find any vegetarian Mexican food the whole time I was there.
because we weren't in Mexico. We were on Vulcan.
You can get Mexican food in California. You can get Mexican food in Texas. Do not really drink alcohol. Yeah, all right. But that's not the point. That's in the United States still. That's like around Mexico. Vulcan is so far away. What about that Mexican colony we went to on the moon?
Around the whole time. Yeah, but that still was closer.
Hold on, it wasn't Baja, Mexico. It was called like Luna, Mexico. Luna, Mexico is pretty cool. Luna, Mexico. I would totally do a gig there. Excellent food, 1/8 the gravity, adequate air conditioning, in my opinion. And I gotta say, if you want to get into cockfighting, there's pretty good cockfighting there. So like that overall would have been good. Oh yeah. Also, Vulcan television sucks. Vulcan television is just a series of what appear to be C-SPAN lectures about math, followed by live reads of 3D chess games. It's just these very serious men and women talking about 3D chess, and that's it. There wasn't any porn. There wasn't any comedy. It was just that.
I'm going to be honest. I know I don't say, much, but I think we need to revalue what you look for when we go to different places.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what you tend to look for is the some sort of meat or barbecue. You're
Brisket.
often looking for some reason cockfighting, which I don't understand.
Everybody needs a side hustle,
which is another thing.
Everybody needs a side hustle.
I just feel like if we kind of just go there and embrace the culture while we're there and put on the coat. I said the coat thing, right? We put on the coat of culture,
right?
And we just get into it.
Hold on. In defense of the porn thing, that's just a way to get to know, like, the tropes and stereotypes of the cultures.
No, that's never been a good way to start a conversation. I'm going to say that right now. In defense of the porn thing is not a way to start.
I think Steinbeck said you get to know a culture through its pornography. I think that was Steinbeck. And I was like, oh, okay, well, good. Challenge accepted.
Really took that to heart, didn't you?
Well, when we went on that Andorian cruise, I had a great time, and I thought they had very tasteful pornography, and I overall really enjoyed it. Vulcan, just terrible. Again, it's just it was naked people discussing math and then discussing how anatomy works. I'm not even sure it was porn. I think it might have been some kind of, the math bit throws me off. It might have been some kind of like high school, this is your body and puberty thing, which, okay, that's the other thing. Can we talk about the incident?
Well, we're getting there, it seems like. Sure.
Okay, well, all right, so Nick's happily married, and I am not. And so whenever Nick and I go intergalactically traveling, I like to hop on Tinder to see what the local talent is like. And swipe right.
I hate that you call it talent. I hate it so much. If we talk about that, I hate that you call it talent. Go ahead.
Anyway,
dude, say what you're saying.
Scoping out the Vulcan talent. Gonna try and get some pointy ears, and I swipe right, and some nice young lady who's like what was she? It's that kind of botany that takes place in water. Not aquabotany, hydroponics. She's a hydroponics engineer on the USS Stellar.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I used to have some house plants, and I even it was going pretty well. And I thought, well, this is, for being on a planet that's 120 degrees with no alcohol, this is going surprisingly well. And then, oh my God, it turns out there was this thing called Pon Farr. And we went to this amphitheater.
Yeah, we picked a bad weekend.
Yeah, we picked a horrible weekend to go
to Vulcan.
Oh, man. And now, in retrospect, I feel like I was getting used because she was already planning on mating with that Vulcan she'd been betrothed to.
Yeah, she tricked you. She tricked you into this situation. I saw the whole thing. That's why I stepped up. Because I had already made some friends in the community and tried to see what I could do to talk them out of this whole situation. Ended up fighting with you. I had to fake my own death.
Yeah.
And then we had to act like you killed me to win the rights to her, which then you gave to this other fella anyway.
Which I only did because you told me to do it. I kind of felt like I earned it at that point, but you talked me out of it. You were like, listen, man, you've avoided death. Just take the win. Yeah. Take the win. You don't want to do this, dude. If you sleep with her, you don't maybe there's going to be some kind of weird bonding thing. You don't know where this is going to go.
And I was like, I think it's worse if you would have had to live with it.
Yeah,
because then you're not leaving Vulcan. There's no way they let you leave.
Oh God, you're right. If I dropped a baby anchor on the planet Vulcan, I mean, I'm a solid dude. I'd feel obliged to stay there, and I would always be sweating for the rest of my life. Yeah, I got to say, that was a weird Thursday night. Thanks for stepping up, by the way, because I don't think I would have pulled that off. I think that guy totally would have ripped my head off or decapitated me or something. He was clearly stronger than me, and when I was a young buck, I don't remember ever being that angry to a challenger for a young lady's wiles. I would, maybe one time I got kind of persnickety and said something unkind, and I think I threw a pint glass at a wall, not even a person, like way back, right? But that guy, oh my God, I don't remember what his name was. It was like, I want to say Herman, but that doesn't sound Vulcan. I don't think it was Herman, but that's what's coming to my mind. That guy wanted to kill me.
Well, it was like Cybeck.
Cybeck. That
it wasn't Cybeck.
No, it wasn't
Cybeck. It wasn't Steinbeck.
No, it wasn't Steinbeck. No, I think you're right. I think it was Cybeck. I think that was his name. There's a lot of S names on Vulcan. I think maybe sense. S is maybe it's like Mick or O. In Ireland and in Scotland. I see, this is something I should have talked to them about when I had the chance, but there's a lot of S names.
No, it's probably for the best. But also, I'll say this. I'm pretty quick. And that's what really did it.
No, you're very agile. Fast. And also, I'm really pleased that you made so many friends on Vulcan, because they were able to kind of walk you through what was going on in a way and that I would not have been able to do. I just kept I'm not proud of this, but I shouted a lot of racial epithets when that was going on. And I was just standing there in the crowd, shaking my fist, going, "You goddamn green-blooded Vulcans, you friggin' goblins."
You kept going into the color of their blood, and I don't know why.
Mow down your old people with this weird axe, and they're not having it. That it didn't score any points for me at all. And it would have been.
I just don't understand why you had to keep insulting the color of their blood. I don't even know that that's a good insult. It's really not.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that at all.
It's not a good insult.
Yeah, that was, actually, that makes me feel a bit better, Nick, because do you remember that one guy in the front row? He just kept going back. He just kept yelling back, "That is factually accurate, and that is anatomically correct." And that was, I don't know whether he was agreeing with me or heckling or what, but that was his response to the green-blooded thing. Yeah, anyway, I hope we get invited back. That was good money.
Well,
I'll take their money.
I'll take Vulcan money. I'm pretty sure that guy was also in the crowd.
Yeah. No, he was totally in the crowd. The only people up there were a different 80-year-old woman who didn't nerve pinch me, but looked like she wanted to, and she seemed to be running the show. I think she was like the matador or the conductor. Yeah. I don't know. She's like the orchestra conductor of the Death Vulcans, and then there was the woman from Tender who looked really smug, I have to say, and then there was that guy, I think Herman or Cybeck, one of those. That guy was trying to kill me. Who, you know what? Actually, I just got a Facebook friend request. So apparently, that's water under the bridge.
From him?
Yeah. He Facebook friended me. Only guy in Vulcan. So you know what? I think it's kind of like sometimes you get in an argument and then you blow out all the steam and you're like, actually, I like that guy. So I guess I made a friend too.
Oh yeah. Oh, he added me too.
Oh well, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, we have some mutual friends.
Nice.
Oh, 7 mutual friends.
Man, small world, huh? All right, Nick. Well, hey, it was fun. I didn't super enjoy Vulcan, but I'm glad I traveled there with you, my friend, and I can't wait for our next adventure.
Yeah, next time do some research.
Okay.
About what'll get you in trouble, maybe.
You do some research, what you get in trouble. All right, talk to you later, Nick.
What'd you say? What?
Nothing.
Bye, buddy.
That's the show. We did it. 3 episodes. Huzzah.